Oh, hello there. I'm Bilchan.
I'm Nimakung.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you. Chapter 15, Section 1 of the picture of Dorian Gray.
As.
The picture of Dorian Gray. Oscar Wilde. Chapter 15, Section 1. That evening, at 8:30, exquisitely dressed and wearing a large buttonhole of Parma violets, Dorian Gray was ushered into Lady Narberth's drawing room by bowing servants. His forehead was throbbing with Madine nerves, and he felt wildly excited. But his manner as he bent over his hostess's hand was as easy and graceful as ever. Perhaps one never seems so much at one's ease as when one has to play a part. Certainly no one looking at Dorian Gray that night could have believed that he had passed through a tragedy as horrible as any tragedy of our age. Those finely shaped fingers could never have clutched a knife for sin. More the smiling lips have cried out on God and goodness. He himself could not help wondering at the calm of his demeanour, and for a moment felt keenly the terrible pleasure of a double life. It was a small party, got up rather in a hurry by Lady Narberth, who was a very clever woman with what Lord Hemy used to describe as the remains of really remarkable ugliness. She had proved an excellent wife to one of our most tedious ambassadors, and having buried her husband properly in a marble mausoleum, which she had herself designed, and married off her daughters to some rich, either elderly men, she devoted herself now to the pleasures of French fiction, French cookery, and French esprit when she could get it. Dorian was one of her especial favourites, and she always told him that she was extremely glad she had not met him in early life. I know, my dear, I should have fallen madly in love with you, she used to say, and throw in my bonnet right over the moors for your sake. It is most fortunate that you were not thought of at the time. As it was, our bonnets were so unbecoming, and the moles were so occupied in trying to raise the wind, that I never had even a flirtation with anybody. However, that was all Narberth's fault. He was dreadfully short-sighted. Her guests this evening were rather tedious. The fact was, as she explained to Dorian, behind a very shabby frown, one of her married daughters had come up quite suddenly to stay with her, and to make matters worse, had actually brought her husband with her. I think it is most unkind of her. My dear, she whispered. Of course I go and stay with them every summer after I come from Hamburg. But then an old woman like me must have fresh air sometimes. And besides, I really wake them up. You don't know what an existence they lead down there. It is pure unadulterated country life. They get up early because they have so much to do, and go to bed early because they have so little to think about. There has not been a scandal in the neighbourhood since the time of Queen Elizabeth, and consequently they all fall asleep after dinner. You shan't sit next to either of them. Dorian murmured a graceful compliment and frowned their room. Yes, it was certainly a tedious party. Two of the people he had never seen before, and others consisted of Ernest Harrowden, one of those middle-aged mediocrities so common in London clubs who have no enemies. but are thoroughly disliked by their friends. Lady Ruxton, an overdressed woman of 47, with a hooked nose, who was always trying to get herself compromised, but was so peculiarly plain that, to her great disappointment, no one would ever believe anything against her. Mice, Alan, a pushing nobody, with a delightful lisp and Venetian red hair. Lady Ellis Chapman, his hostess's daughter, a dowdy girl, with one of those characteristic British faces that, once seen, are never remembered, and her husband, a red-cheeked, white-whiskered creature who, like so many of his class, was under the impression in order that joviality can atone for an entire lack of ideas. He was rather sorry he had come. To Lady Narborough, looking at the great hormel gold clock that sprawled in gaudy curves on the mauve draped. "My Tashaff," exclaimed, "how horrid of Henry Wotton to be so late." It was some consolation that Harry was to be there, and when the door opened and he heard his slow musical voice lending charm to some insincere apology, he ceased to feel bored. But at dinner he could not eat anything. Plate after plate went away untasked. Lady Narborough kept scolding him for what she called an insult to poor Adolphe, who invented the menu specially for you, and now and then Lord Henry looked across at him, wondering at his silence and abstracted manner. From time to time the butler filled his glass with champagne. He drank eagerly, and his thirst seemed to increase. To be continued.